How you want to start
everything
this?
this man says. What
Listen,
do you mean?
whatever. We're gonna do a
Oh yeah,
reaction. 47 minutes ago, Shigaraki versus Mahito.
yes sir. I got my
I just
first
know they
opinion.
muted me.
We got a gooner. No, we didn't mute the gooner yet, but we have a gooner in our ear while watching this. Wait, why'd they show that?
They can't hear me.
We can hear you.
No, not.
It's our
you,
job
man.
to
I'm
analyze
about
their
to-
weapons,
I wanna
armor,
say,
and
please turn
it
skills
up.
to find
Oh
out
my
who
God.
will win a death battle.
It was never this
Tenko
deep.
Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved
Oh wait,
superheroes.
predictions.
But
Who y'all
sometimes
got?
the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beat
What was it again?
Michael, who you got?
Oh, it's Shiggy and Mahito.
Shiggy and Mahito.
Man,
I'm
Shiggy, I got
biased.
Shiggy.
I'm biased, so I'm gonna go Mahito.
I'm biased, so I'm going Shiggy. I ain't gonna. I don't. But anyways, I don't. Yeah, the
Don't
Mahito
Shiggy
can only be
outscale
killed.
him?
Mahito can only be killed if like. Isn't it only a certain way you can kill him?
Huh?
No,
Like-
I mean, doesn't Shiggy
Doesn't there have to be?
outscale him and
Doesn't there have to be
everything?
like a certain way you can kill Mahito? Otherwise, he just won't die.
Yeah, I thought it was
You
like
have
the
to
soul
attack
thing.
it, so if you have no soul attack, you're not gonna hurt him at all. He's not gonna feel nothing.
So
Cut
what
off
does
his arm
Shiggy
like
have that attacks the soul?
Yeah, it's best to get these conversations up before we
You
start.
have to wank him crazy and like just make your own interpretations with that all for one stuff. Like vessel and all that. But
Okay.
even then, he's not like taking control. So even then, if he has soul attacks, he ain't good with it.
Like I was saying
Right.
before, I only think I got Shiggy over Mahito is like physical. Because Mahito definitely got it when it comes to like power itself. That soul.
Really?
If Mahito
First
touches
off-
him once, it's
Yeah,
raps.
it's literally a one-hit thing. You have to flawless him to actually like get out of him. Because I don't think
Right,
he
what
has
do you
any
mean
like
physical,
soul
like-
things.
Because Shiggy, right? When you say physical, are you saying like Mahito can also like? Hold on. Shiggy can touch the ground and level an entire city, right?
Mhm.
You're saying Mahito can achieve something just like that?
No, I'm saying like Shigaraki, because he was like the Nomu shit.
That's what I'm thinking when you say physical.
No,
He means like he's physically stronger
Yeah, he's superior when it comes to physicality.
and speed.
Okay.
See now I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. All right, let me know you watching. Who y'all think though? Before we started,
I don't know. I'm biased, so I got Shiggy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got Shiggy too, bro. Shiggy my
I
go.
never really like Mahito.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
I'm
like
ready.
Shiggy Taylor.
Whenever y'all ready.
all right, and we're starting.
Yep, Shiggy finna win. Just from that alone.
Versus
I'm
Mahito.
saying,
bullshit.
why'd they show that?
fear versus
That's
the
what they
human
showed that. They know
disaster
exactly what they were
curse.
doing.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Death battle.
Tenko
This is about to be
Shimura
lame.
was just a sweet, shy boy
starting off with my
who
goat. Hold on.
loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for one. The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It
Too much.
does what it says on the tin. Anything Shiggy touches with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect power for someone who just wants
This
to
is
destroy.
low-key one of my
Pretty
favorite
menacing,
quirks
if
out of the
not for that
series.
dorky ass
Absolutely.
costume.
This
I
one or
get it,
Overhaul?
hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed. attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well,
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
But they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and
Went from
durability,
Chud
enough
to
to match and
Chad.
surpass even All Might's absurd powers.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough
Like,
that his
come on,
body
bro.
produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, Gigantico Megastorm. Anyway, it also made a blast so big it shoot up against the curvature of the Earth.
The
Though
new
he
name
might
for
seem
my
invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became? Oh shit, more hands!
Shigaraki can
nasty.
spontaneously generate flesh into
That's an
existence,
amalgamation of
seemingly
just
oceans
nothing.
of it in an instant,
Oh my God.
whenever he
Definitely
wants.
something.
He can even use it as a type of armor to
Oh my
defend himself in
God.
close
Armor?
combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All For One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All For One's quirk,
I don't know, man.
All For One,
I
allows
think-
its user to
I
steal
don't know.
and store quirks with just a touch.
And All For One has
Look at it.
hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is
you
connected to a
doing this
memory
for?
of its user's essence in the form of a spirit.
What are you doing
a
this for?
vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul.
Gotta be a level
They
of boredom.
exist in this kinda psychic world in
You gotta be real bored
Shigaraki's
to be a
body
villain.
and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be
Talk about
invaded.
him, he's
And with
bored.
those vestiges came quirks.
He
like
was crazy,
super fast
bro.
healing, air blasts,
No, literally.
radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All For One's vestige, that means All For One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
I know what argument they're gonna
His
use.
entire existence was planned from the beginning.
I know what argument they're gonna use.
Because All Might's previous
Well, wait,
mentor
if he wins?
was Nana Shimoda.
No, they're gonna give
Tenko's
Shiggy the Itadori and Sukuna treatment. Mahito tried to touch Shiggy, so All For One's gonna interfere for Shiggy
Shigaraki's
to give him a
entire
resistance.
life
Okay.
Oh,
all for
'cause it's a whole
one
different
purpose.
soul.
That probably
Create
might.
a soul so
I don't hate it.
corrupted it would
That's
grind
a-
away.
I mean, you can't really
its
get mad at that
perfect
argument,
world,
though.
allowing All for
Yeah.
One to take
I guess.
full control.
But All for One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last
That's
time.
gotta be
Despite
max
Izuku's
Oh, that's
best
so
hate.
efforts
brutal.
to
I like
save
that
him,
one.
Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol
His
of
spirit
hope defeated
decayed.
the new symbol of
Okay.
fear, burying All for One's
So
grudge.
you think
for
they're gonna
good.
use that
All
argument?
that Shigaraki asked
I
was to
doubt
be
it.
He's so
remembered
corrupted
as the
that he doesn't even
heartless
have a soul
destroyer
anymore?
He was raised to be,
And that's why Mahito
and not
can't
the
kill him?
broken,
That's kinda crazy.
angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing
They
he'd
just
been
rambling
denied
now,
his
bro.
whole life. The one thing his
just
lifelong
rambling.
nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Saying that.
This
Why
battle
are they
is
on
sponsored by
Mahito?
Robin Hood
Oh,
Gold.
no, they
With
not.
Robin Hood Gold, you
They're
can
on
now
Robin
enjoy
Hood.
the VIP treat.
Ain't no one worried about Robin Hood.
Ever since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming over time a living
Congealed.
being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law
Blue as fuck.
of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a
don't
human
like Mahito.
disaster curse when I've
do.
had too
He's
many
like
mojitos.
one of the secret
Mahito
secrets.
is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind.
People
He's
using
no
him in
mere
a corny
mortal,
way.
though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of
Mm-hmm.
smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those
I like the way these
negative
panels are being
emotions
animated.
manifest as
Excuse me,
Mahito,
animated.
a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible
Oh,
for the untrained eye
that
to
could be a
see.
con.
Only a life or death situation
If they use
can
it.
galvanize
I forgot
a normal
about that.
person to
A
see
con for
cursed
Mahito?
spirit.
That also
They're not
makes
gonna
cursed
use that,
spirits
though.
virtually immune to physical
They're
damage.
gonna have
They
to
may
make
be
it, like,
physically present
able so
in
he can
space,
see
but can
him.
only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a
Or my ex.
jujutsu sorcerer to come in and kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals, but Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
When they get
Even
Chogo.
more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the
Imagine that,
wolf.
bro.
Which
You don't even
also
see him.
makes
Your
him
body
kind
just
of a
turns into
goofball.
something else.
If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy, considering his curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch, including his own. In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an
There you go.
immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shapeshift his body into literally anything he wants. Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish, reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques.
Who got rid of
like
him?
the Black Flash.
They're not going to give him
Cursed
0.2
energy
domain.
within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy.
If they do, though,
space
that's kinda-
itself will
kinda it.
distort,
That's kinda for most people.
exponentially
Can't do
amplifying
shit
its
in the
force by a
domain.
What does his
factor
domain
of
do again?
2.5.
Not only does this
Same thing,
curse
just
take
turn you
a
into
mother,
anything
it
without having to
restores
touch
your
you.
curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times
Yeah,
the
who-
speed of sound.
Ooh.
It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain
Who got rid of him?
expansion.
Itadori and then
shit.
Kinjaki.
More hands! The
Oh,
domain is
Kinjaki
like a
just ate it.
barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught
Makes sense,
inside,
'cause-
Mahito can use
Easy.
idol transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called
Oh,
the
there you go.
self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was
I
Yuji
go.
a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that.
They seem like they're going a lot in more in this than Shiggy, bro. I
They
don't know.
definitely are. They definitely are.
That's
What's your
That's,
opinion?
that's a lot of soul stuff they got to get into, though. Why is there so many ads? There ain't
school's
never this
good.
many ads
They
when I'm
doing
watching
too
it
much
without
digging.
it.
My roommate is
Or they
Brian
figure to the
Thomas.
fight.
You. Oh,
You know, I think he's just here for.
There ain't never been this many
surprise,
ads
and
when we
kicked
watch it
Mahito's
normally.
ass, forcing
Soon as I start
Backface to
recording.
fight with a
Usually
handicap
get like
whenever
one.
facing his pink-haired
Or
menace.
none.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he touched
Yeah, I know he
tail
would've
and
won
ran
that.
away like a bitch.
You said what?
Mahito would've won that.
But did he?
No.
They straight up said, you got luck.
All that
Oh, wow.
glee
Gotta
from
do what you
the
gotta
game,
do.
just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
And he had help.
Mama said there's no rules in a street fight.
Nah, literally. There ain't no sort of rules.
Wiped out thousands of innocent people. Yuji's youthful spirit was gone.
Like or not.
The only thing left that mattered was exercising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory. The
It don't matter now.
destruction of
He's still
another
whooping 'em.
human
Current.
being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Damn. Now you about to
Hey,
start.
do you see that join button? Yeah, that
Not
one.
worried about
That's
that.
your ticket to being a death battle. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all
Come on,
possibilities.
Shiggy, show me
It's
something.
time
Show me
for a
something.
death
He finna have Shiggy win. It's some bullshit.
battle.
I know they're gonna use the argument because they said like Shiggy went so corrupt, he pretty much lost his spirit. They're gonna tie that into it. Okay.
Like, that's gotta be crazy, dude. Like, you
Are they
just
fighting in
literally,
Shibuya? Oh yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like, you just existing, something you don't even see. Oh, that's how we see them.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts.
He ain't never
My
did that. That's
organization is going
okay.
to tear
I mean, they
this
did say he
putrid
had like the
world
ability to
down
like
around
see
us.
things, see
We
their
could use
opponents.
a freak of your
Me versus
talents.
myself.
They never said how.
You say you
Yeah.
versus yourself?
King of
Corny.
social
I'm
regen.
saying.
I'm Shiggy.
How about I bring him your head instead? Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sick 'em.
The no move.
I knew it.
Look at that.
That's disgusting.
I'm saying. It's nasty. I want Shigaraki to win low key.
Did you actually just see that? God, how lame!
Still playing.
They playing.
Oh my goodness.
Audition over. Did I get the
I ain't gonna lie,
part?
both their powers right here is tough. I can't even lie.
Look at that.
Decay.
Look at this. Oh my
I forgot you
god.
can do that too. I forgot.
You better hit him with a black flash? He is.
Oh my goodness.
Already?
Oh, this bull. This is bull.
Already. Look at him.
That all you got?
I have to do that right. He can just chop his arm off and just regrow it.
You can him off.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
How he gonna get out of this? Is he? Aw.
See.
Y'all was right. Y'all was right.
Grayson
They-
called it. Grayson called it. Grayson called it.
Hey, no, he even got him sitting the same way too.
And he just shatters it. Let's go. Hold on.
He even got him.
Your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them for a reason. You grow up.
Like you should have won, King. Like you should have. Like you should have.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out.
Straight
No bull at all.
Down to three
That's how the fuck I
categories:
would've won it.
physical stats, survivability, and their powers.
But first, let's address
Hey,
one
you
thing.
never really know how
Could
these are gonna go.
Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Surge quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idol transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idol transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years, but none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idol transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idol transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him.
Hundreds?
Sure, each one
Oh,
down
yeah, he
means he
does.
loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how
That's
much
right.
faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige
That's bullshit.
and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical
Wow.
form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge.
Okay.
It was a unique duel to the death,
My
but Shigaraki's
king.
overwhelming might, unstoppable powers,
stronger,
and deadly
larger
decay
arsenal
spelled the
powers,
end
that's
for the disaster
idol
curse.
transfiguration.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to
Or this
Shigaraki.
remove one of
The
his
winner
quirks
is
if
Tomura Shigaraki.
Next time
As he
on
should
Death
have.
Battle.
Wait, who's next time?
Oh,
Wait,
hold on.
stop.
My fault. Ripping air. This Doom guy and who? Master.
Subscribe
Oh, this
and
Zane gonna
join us
love
if ever to
this.
see more
Zane
Death
gonna
Battle.
love this.
Oh, Zane is gonna yeah, facts.
Zane
Zane gonna
gonna-
eat this up, bro. He's gonna be on that.
Yo. So you got any like
That's crazy.
ending comments to make about this?
I ain't gonna lie. After what my ears were being
Goat
fed,
versus goat.
after what my ears were being fed, I feel like Shiggy would have won that anyways.
Okay.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Well, we'll go ahead
Oh
and give
no,
us
those
your.
I can say out of all death battle arguments that I've previously heard, the ones for Shiggy were actually decent to me.
They did make pretty good ones. This one.
Shiggy has never ever in his life willingly did a spiritual decay. Only when he's in that spiritual world, when he's forced into it. That's bull.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, this is good as fuck.
I mean, they were admitting, they were like, there's no way Shiggy could kill him by any normal means, and like the quirks and like curse energies, like completely different things, and how like Shiggy has nothing that would actually deal with the curse spirit such as Mahito, but they brought up the argument. They brought up that argument, like you said, and him being in like the spiritual plane or whatever, and decayed that spirit. But I don't know. Even other than that, like. His ways of blocking off idol transfiguration through using other spirits because he has hundreds inside of him. I thought that made sense too.
He's never done that.
Did he really have to though?
He's never done that.
That's all that matters.
Okay. This is a good video. It's much better than the other ones they'd be making.